Hello and welcome to your somatic yoga practice for balance. I'm Emily Plochet, founder of the Collective. So, what you'll need for this somatic practice today is simply a wide open space to lie down. If you've got hardwood floors, then you might want to lie down. You definitely want to spread a blanket down. If your blanket isn't very heavy, then slide your sticky mat underneath the blanket and you can tuck the edges in. That'll stop your blanket from sliding around. And if you have carpet, that's even better. You don't need a mat or a blanket or anything. You can just lie down and slide around on your blanket. So before we get started, lie down and make sure that you have enough room and do a couple of snow angels just to be sure that you're not colliding and bumping into your furniture, into your bookshelves, into your bed frame. If anything is in your way, make some space and then go ahead and lie down. Starting in Shavasana today. With your arms and legs spread out, allow your palms to face up and draw your shoulder blades a little closer together on your back. So letting your eyes come to a close, turn on your internal gaze, scan your body, just notice what you're feeling. You remember that question you learned in philosophy class, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, was there actually a sound? I always thought that was a silly question. But I like to ask a similar question here. You're not moving your body and you're not looking at it. How do you know that you have one? How do you know that you're alive, that this is real? And the answer is because you can sense it, right? You feel sensation, maybe some aches and pains or dullness, maybe tingling, maybe temperature is what you sense. So somatic yoga, as opposed to regular asana, is the yoga of being. Really, all yoga is a yoga of being, but in this particular style, we're really focusing on sensation, going slow, because when we go slow, that gives time for the mind and the body to integrate and reset natural forms of movement. So all the movements that I've chosen today are designed to bring you balance, physical balance, energetic balance, as well as mental and emotional. Let's start by breathing together. You're going to exhale all the way out. Draw your belly button down into the floor, to your spine. And then as you inhale, expand your belly, expand your ribs, expand your chest. And exhale slowly out, navel to spine. Good. Inhale, expand the front of your lungs, belly, ribs, chest. And exhale slowly out. Inhaling, this time expand the backs of your lungs, the low back, your kidneys, the backs of your shoulders. Feel them expanding and opening into the floor. And exhale slowly out. And this next time, breathe into the sides of your lungs, expanding the sides of your waist, your side ribs, even your armpits. And exhale. Good, and now breathe into all sides of your lungs, breathing in 3D, expanding all the way around. And exhale out. And now I want you to imagine that your body is a container. Breathe in all the way to your edges. As you inhale, send your breath down into your toes, into your fingertips, into the crown of your head. And exhale all the way out. Good. Again, breathing in all the way to the edges of your skin. All the way. And slowly exhale out. Last one, we'll make this a cleansing breath. So breathing in all the way to your edges. Holding this time at the very top. Draw in a little bit more. Continue to hold for 5, Softening within, 4. Soften your jaw, your belly, 3, 2, and then with an open mouth, let it all go. Just melt into the floor for a second. Soften your muscles. Soften your skin. Just doing one more little body scan. I want you to take a mental snapshot of how you're feeling right now in this moment. Mental snapshot of physical sensations. A mental snapshot of emotions. What's your mood? What mood did you come in with today? Take a mental snapshot of your mental quality, if you're feeling energized or sluggish or kind of in the middle, balanced. Good. Now, first movement that we'll do is going to start with bent knees. So bringing the soles of your feet to the floor with your feet at hip-width distance. Slide your arms out into a T position. It's going to start off with a really small movement, and you might need to look at the camera for the first time or two, and then you can just get into your groove. So I want you to lift your left shoulder up away from the floor, keeping your arm and hand on the floor, and then internally rotate or rotate your shoulder forward towards your legs. Good. And then now relax it down. Good. Lift your shoulder up, rotate it in and forward, and then relax it down. Now closing your eyes for a moment and just continue to do this movement on the left shoulder. Turn on your internal gaze once again and notice sensation. Notice the muscles, front of your deltoid, your chest. Notice the rotation in your arm bone. You can add an inhale as you lift and an exhale as you lower. Just getting mobility and flesh blood to the shoulder girdle in the front of the body. And release that left side, and now doing the same on the right. Lifting your right shoulder up off the ground and rotating it in and forward towards your legs. And then relax it back down. Good. Rotating in and forward. Keep your arm and hand on the floor. So let the movement just come from the shoulder. You might add an inhale as you lift and rotate, and an exhale as you lower. Just noticing any difference in sensation on this side. Good. And release. And now shifting your awareness down to your feet, your legs, and your hips. Relax your belly. I want you to imagine that you've got a whole wad of gum underneath the ball and the heel of your left foot. You're trying to lift your left foot off the ground, but that gum is giving a lot of resistance. And finally, you're able to lift your foot up 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, but not a full inch. Go ahead and relax your left foot back down. And now imagine you have a wad of gum underneath your right heel and the right ball of your foot. Slowly trying to pry your foot off the ground. It's really sticky, it's hard to do. You lift it maybe an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and then slowly relax it down. Good, and now moving from side to side, allowing your eyes to close, turning on your internal gaze. Slowly lifting one foot up, prying it away from the ground. Notice what the rest of your body is doing. You might notice your hips lightly shift from side to side. You'll notice your core muscles, transverse abdominis and the psoas, turn on. And notice if one side reacts a little differently than the other. Maybe one side recruits different muscles, or feels different, or maybe rotates differently. These core stabilizer muscles we're waking up are essential for low back health, supporting the spine, the whole structure. Good. Relax. Just notice Now we'll put the two movements together. So go ahead and lift and internally rotate your left shoulder, and at the same time, slowly start to pry your right foot, the opposite foot, off the ground, just 3/4 of an inch max, and then relax down. So making a diagonal pattern as we move. Now the right shoulder and the left foot pries off the ground, and then release. And you might add an inhale as you lift, or maybe the inhale as you lower and the exhale as you lift. But just starting to sync your breath with the movement. So this is vinyasa. And now notice this diagonal pattern across the body. We're waking up core stabilizer muscles all the way across. Notice how one side might be recruiting a little differently than the other, or maybe it feels a little different. And see if you can go 20% slower. So really slowly prying your foot off the ground, lifting and rotating your shoulder. Good. Now just release, extend your legs long, straight to the floor. Slide your arms a little lower down by your side. And imagine that we're making jello, and your body is jello, and now we need to let that jello set. So finding physical stillness. Turn on your internal gaze once again and notice subtle shifts in your body of energy. You can feel flow of energy, tingling, pulsations, temperature. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out of your mouth. Great. Great. Bending your knees once again, soles of the feet to the floor. And now keeping your hips heavy on the floor, I want you to just swivel one hip up and the other hip down. So one hip kind of swivels and slides towards your feet as the other one hikes up by your shoulder, and then switch. And you're not lifting your hips or your back away from the floor. This is just kind of a slide. You might think of like, what would Shakira be doing, or a belly dancer? And just go ahead and swivel, swivel, swivel. Give it a little speed and a little rhythm. And notice how your spine is now undulating and swinging all the way up to the chest, to your neck, to your head. So just breaking up some cobwebs, sending blood flow up the spine, swiveling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release, giving some love to the sacroiliac joint, your hips. Feeling the flow of energy and tingles as increased blood flow goes to these spaces and sends some nourishment. And take a breath in. Out the mouth, let it go. Great. Interlace your hands behind your head, bending your elbows. Allow the back of your head to rest in your hands. And now arch your back, rocking your tailbone towards the floor. As you arch your back, you'll get a space underneath your low back, large enough that you can maybe slide your hand underneath. Feel the muscles across your spine, along your spine contracting. Allow your chin to lightly draw towards your chest so that spinal undulation continues all the way up to the back of the head. And now we'll do the opposite movement. Draw your low belly down and in, and bring the low back to the floor. Scoop and round your tailbone. Lift and hug your elbows in by your ears. Lift your head up off the ground, rounding completely. Good. You might need to look at the camera these first couple times, but then you'll get it. So then lying back down, elbows wide, press your elbows into the floor, arch your back, chin draws towards the chest, lift your chest, take a breath in, and then exhale, hug your elbows in by your ears, scoop your tailbone round your back. Inhale, lie back, arch the back. Exhale, scoop and round. Good, inhale. And exhale. Moving with your breath. Now as you lie back, press your elbows into the floor, lift your chin away from your chest, relax your jaw, look back. Good. Exhaling, rounding and scooping off the floor. Inhaling, arching, elbows pressed down, chin lifts, head tilts back. Again, waking up the spinal stabilizer muscles, increasing apana vayu in the body. A lot of fresh blood to the belly and the core muscles, as well as the spine. And now the next time you scoop and lift off the floor, add a little twist to one side. And then inhale, lie back, elbows pressed down, arch, chin lifts. Exhale, scooping off the floor, twist to the other side. Moving with your breath, going from side to side. Change up the way that you twist. Maybe you do a little side bend as you twist. Or maybe you twist more towards your leg. Just notice how sensation in your body changes depending on the way that you twist. Waking up the body in different ways. Now, the next time you lift and scoop and twist, lift the opposite shoulder. So if you're twisting to your left, lift your left knee. And then lie back and arch. Twisting opposite shoulder to opposite knee. See if you can slow it down by about 20%. And remember, you've got gum on the bottom of your shoe, so allowing there to be some resistance as you lift your foot off the ground. Notice how that changes. Again, sensation and recruitment of muscles. And finishing that next one, and then allow your legs to relax long, relax your arms. And like that jello, again, we're going to let everything set and be absorbed. So finding stillness. And now noticing sensation. Even though you're not moving physically, you can feel movement within. All that flow of prana, of blood and healing, and bringing balance to the body physically and energetically. And just for a moment, try to do zero work holding this pose. Feel how the gravitational pull of this planet is literally gluing you to the floor. If you wanted to move right now, you'd have to engage a muscle. Rather than resisting the gravitational pull, give into it. Allow your bones to feel heavy. And soften your skin and muscles around your bones. Relax your jaw. Soften the skin around your eyes. Soften your belly. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale it out of your mouth. All right. So this next one, you might have to look at the camera or your phone or TV or whatever you're using just for a moment, and then you'll get it. So you're going to bend your knees and then bring arms out into a T position first, palms up. You're going to bend your knees, slide your heels out to one side, swinging your knees up by the ribs, but keep your feet on the floor and heavy. And now push to slide your knees, legs back out in front. Going to the other side, bend your knees, pull them up by your arm and ribs, sliding the feet the whole way, and then push and slide your feet back down. Good, moving with your breaths. You can inhale as you slide, exhale as you push back out, or maybe you're exhaling as you slide and inhaling as you push back out. Notice how it feels a little different depending on your choice, and neither are wrong. Once you get the movement, allow your eyes to close and feel it from the inside out. Notice as you slide your legs how your lower spine rotates, the hips rotate. It's a really good motion for flushing out the spine, releasing tension and tightness in the low back, the hips, sacroiliac joints. Let your feet be heavy as you slide from one side to the other. And now as you slide, make the opposite arm heavy. So if your knees are going one direction, opposite arm gets heavy on the floor. Just notice how by anchoring one part of your body, it allows you to get a little more opening in the opposite side. Making the opposite arm heavy. And now, in addition to that, you can turn your head in the opposite direction that your knees go. Good. So that as you twist, the opposite arm is heavy and you're turning your head to look at that arm. Just notice how that continues the rotation up the spine. So now the whole spine is getting a little ring out and flush, release. And adding to this, the next time you draw your knees up, you might lift the top knee off the floor and hug it in towards your chest. Good, sliding down and out to the other side, lifting the top knee up off the floor, hugging it into your chest. And this can be in addition to the weighted heavy arm and turning your head in the opposite direction, or maybe for you it feels better not to turn your head. Always listening to your body. It's what this somatic practice is all about. You might find that you're traveling a little bit. It's not just you. That's okay. Oh, I love this move. Good. Next time your knees come to one side, go ahead and pause there. Lift up that opposite arm and bring it to stack on top the bottom. And then your bottom arm you can use just kind of folded underneath your head for a pillow. Your top leg, extend it out. And you can either grab a hold of it with your hand or loop a strap around your foot if your foot's too far away. I've got short legs, so my foot's really easy to get. Just pausing here, allowing the back of your leg, your hamstring, to stretch. Find a smooth, slow breath. And think of breathing into the back of your leg. Soften and allow your body to settle in this side lying position, letting your ribs drop to the floor, letting your head and your hips drop to the floor heavy. And now releasing both legs long. Extend your left leg long underneath your ear and sweep your right arm up and overhead. Catch your right wrist with your left hand and gently pull. I'm just going to pause and settle into this position, lengthening the top side. You might be on your other side, so if I said the wrong arm, just top arm, bottom arm. You got it. And lift your top leg for a moment. Flex your foot, reach out through your heel. Reach away from your arm a little bit, so lengthening that side. And then nice and slow, set your foot back down. Let your hips settle to the ground. Let your ribs settle the ground, soften. Good. Bring your right hand in front, kind of like a kickstand, while your top arm. Bring your top arm in front. And then bend the knee of your top leg and bring it behind your bottom leg. If you can, getting the sole of that foot flat to the floor. And now take a breath in, sliding your top arm forward and away from your body, rotating your ribs, and almost doing a face plant as your head comes towards the floor. Good. Inhale, slide your arm back in. And exhale, once again, slide out. Try to keep your knee pointing up to the floor so your hips don't rotate forward with you. Just your ribs and your spine. We're getting a big stretch across the spine. It's a lot of torque. Sliding back. Inhale to slide forward. Exhale back. A couple more times with your breath. This movement is really good for addressing scoliosis and any rotations that you have in the body. Most of us do have a little bit. It just comes from posture, movement patterns. The next time you slide forward, go ahead and hold it. Knees still reaching up towards the ceiling. Sole of the foot flat if you can, or you're on the ball of your foot. Breathing into your ribs. And your face is coming towards the floor like you're doing a face plant. One more breath. And slide your top arm back in. Roll onto your back. Let's pause for a moment. Make like Jello. As you lie down, just notice the difference between your two sides, if you can feel a difference, since we've only done one with that twist. Feeling sensations of aliveness. Let your body settle. Let the Jello set. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Now just allowing your knees to slide up to the other side. Stack your top arm over the bottom and use your bottom arm as a pillow. And extend your top leg out straight. Catch a hold of your foot or strap your foot if it's far away from you. Pausing here for a hamstring stretch. Try to take some of the doing out of this pose and just be. Allowing your ribs to soften to the floor of your hips. Breathing into the back of your hamstring and calf. Good. Now sliding both legs out straight, stack your legs. Slide your bottom arm out, still using it as a pillow, and then reach your top arm up and over. Catch the wrist of the top arm with your bottom hand and lightly pull, lengthening this side of your body now. Again, letting your ribs and your hips be heavy to the floor. Lift your top leg up and back for a moment and reach. Feeling the length on this side. And slowly set your top leg back down. Now using your top arm as a kickstand, bend the knee of your top leg, bringing the sole of your foot behind the knee of the bottom leg. Sole of the foot flat if you can, or you're on the ball of your foot if not. And trying to keep this knee pointing up towards the ceiling, slide the hand of your top arm forward, rotating across your ribs, bringing your face towards the floor for a face plant. Take a breath in and exhale as you slide back. Good. Inhale, sliding, reaching forward. And exhale back. Moving with your breath. Right away, maybe noticing differences on this side, which most of us have a little bit of rotation. Helping to address and balance that. And then this next time that you slide out, we'll hold it. Keeping your knee pointing up towards the ceiling, breathing across the ribs and the hips. Face turning towards the floor or on the floor for 3, 2, and releasing. Roll onto your back. Make like jello. Let's let the set happen. Finding physical stillness, notice sensation and movement, flow of energy and blood within. Feeling more of a balance on both sides. We've still got some work to do, but we're getting there. And just for a moment, let gravity take over all the work. Allow your bones to be heavy. Soften your skin and muscles around your bones. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out of your mouth. And slide one arm up by your ear, and then roll in that direction on your side, and then over onto your belly. Coming all the way onto your belly, center yourself as needed. And then bending your elbows out to the sides, place one hand on top of the other and allow your forehead to relax on top of your hands. And pausing in this prone shavasana for a moment. Give your body some time to adjust to this new position. Notice resistance or tightening in your belly, in your chest, or jaw soften. Let the belly be soft. Start to breathe softly into the skin of your belly. Breathe into your breast tissue. Just giving every part of your body permission to be comfortable and relaxed in this position. And sending some breath into the back of your body. Imagine you're learning how to swim and you have one of those little floaties right above your kidneys. And every time you breathe in, try to breathe in and inflate that floaty, softening the kidneys, softening the backs of your ribs, softening and inflating your low back. Good. Now tuck your toes, curling your toes in the ball of your foot into the floor. Push into the ball of your foot and extend your heels straight back. Press the front of your hips and the front of your pelvis down. You'll feel your glutes engage. And now start to push down into the floor with your elbows. And coil your head, your chin off the ground, lift your heart, coming into cobra. And still sending energy out of the backs of your heels, pressing the front of your hips down. And think of coiling your spine into your body as the heart pulls forward and your shoulders relax down your back. We'll breathe here for about 10 more seconds. See if you can take the doing out of this posture and ease into it a little bit. Notice how your body lightly adjusts, readjusts, the longer you're here and gets comfortable. Take another full in-breath and out-breath. And then release down. Uncurling the feet, pointing your toes. Good. And once again, tuck your toes. Push your heels back. The knees lift away from the floor. Press the front of your hips down. Push down through your elbows, coil up, cobra. This time as you press down through your elbows and your hands, think of lifting the skin of your belly button up away from the floor and slide it forward, getting a little more length in your spine. And then slowly lower down. Now this next movement's going to come one leg at a time. You might have to look at the camera first, or you might just understand from my instructions. So bending your right knee out to the side, slide it up towards your hip. So you're like in half Baddha Konasana. Good. And now just pausing here, notice the opening across your inner right thigh. Really good for opening up and sending fresh blood into this artery, into the hips. And now see if you can slide your knee out a little wider. So getting more of a stretch into the inner right thigh. And now start to slide your knee in towards your hips. So hugging the thigh in. Your right hip's going to pop off the ground a little bit. And now slide your right knee back out as far as you can away from your body. Don't push it though. Good. Hug your knee in, sliding in towards your body, popping the right hip off the floor, and then slide it out. You can add an inhale in one direction and an exhale in the other. And just start to become aware of sensation. Notice how your spine and your hips are rotating. It's another really good movement for balancing the muscles of the back. Squeezing and flushing action for the muscles of your inner thigh. Good, once more. And then release. That leg long. Pause. Wait, watch, and listen. Notice sensation on that side you just did. Tingles, pulsation, release, flushing. And now sliding the other side up. Knee up and out to the side. We'll just pause here for a moment. Let this settle. Notice stretch and sensation in the left inner thigh. Then slide your left knee out a little further away from your body. And then slide and hike it in, hiking the left hip up. Sliding out away from your body, opening the pelvis to face towards the floor, and then sliding in, feeling the rotation across your low back and spine. Moving with your breath, inhaling in one direction and exhaling in the other. Just noticing differences on this side in sensation, differences in rotation or mobility. Again, this movement helps to balance both sides. And once more. And then release. Pause, feel sensation, tingling, flushing, more of a balance on both sides now. Energy flowing more freely up the spine and all of the energy centers of the body. Now slide your right knee back out to the side again and tuck your left toes into the floor, reaching your left heel back. Press down through your elbows, coil your head, neck, spine off the floor, coming into that cobra position. And firmly pressing down through the left hip, the ball of the left foot. Start to slide your arms over a little closer to your right knee, like a lizard. Good. And again, still firmly pressing down through the left hip. Feel that subtle stretch and opening across the left side of your belly. And let's just breathe here. Let your body settle into it a little bit. And sliding back out to the center line. Slide your right leg back out straight and lower down. And then the other side, bend and slide your left knee out to the side. Tuck your right toes. Push the ball of your foot down, reaching your heel back. Press down through your elbows, coil and lift your head off the ground, coming into the cobra shape. Pausing here. Think of pulling and sliding the skin of your belly button forward and up, giving a little more length to their spine. And sliding over to the left towards that knee like a lizard. Keep rooting down through the front of your right hip. Feeling an opening across the right side of the belly and the side of your waist. Pause and settle and breathe. Good. Slide back in and out and lower down. Just pause and notice sensation. And now slide the bottom hand straight forward, almost like Superman. So now your head is on one hand and the other arm is straight out in front. Lift that straight arm up away from the floor. The whole arm lifts up, your hand, your elbow, and your shoulder. Hold it. Just notice how your whole body is responding, supporting this. And slowly lower back down. And now switch arms. Slide this one back underneath your head. Slide the opposite arm out straight. And then lift it away from the floor. Lifting your hand, your elbow, your upper arm. Your head is still down on your hand. And feeling your whole body respond. And then release back down. And now going from side to side at your own pace. Inhaling one way and exhaling the other. And just notice if your body responds the same on both sides, or maybe muscles are recruited a little differently. Maybe you feel your body shift in one direction or rotate. Now the next time you slide one arm out and lift it, lift the opposite leg up, your ankle, your knee, and your thigh if you can. Try not to bend your knee, but don't lock your leg out straight either. And then relax down, sliding that hand back in and the opposite arm out. And now lifting that arm up and the opposite leg. So this is another diagonal pattern across the body. Strengthening and nourishing the muscles of the back, bringing balance. Diagonal patterns mimic walking. This is so good for resetting our body's natural rhythm and balance. And you can start to lift your head up with the movement if you like as well. Lifting and lowering and sliding and switching. Inhaling one way and exhaling the other. Good. Finishing both sides in this one. And then pause and release. And feeling, letting the jello set. Notice sensation, pulsations, tingling, flow of energy and blood. Slide one arm out straight and then roll onto your side and onto your back. Relax your arms by your side. Pause for a moment. Let the jello set. Notice how your body feels. Notice how you feel. Slow, smooth breath. In through the nose and let a sigh out of your mouth. Lift your legs up, bending your knees. Cross one ankle over the other. We'll find supine or lying down Sukhasana easy pose. So with your ankles crossed, see if you can grab a hold of the soles of your feet, the pinky toe edge of your feet, and then allow the cross of your legs to deepen as you lightly draw your feet down and your knees in towards your chest. And don't force this. If you need to use a strap, you can loop a strap around your feet. Just feeling how the backs of your glutes may be giving some resistance to this. Just allow the deep flesh of your buttocks, your glutes. I don't know why, it still makes me laugh. I'm such a kid. Allowing the flesh of your glutes to soften to the floor. Allow the back body to soften to the floor. And feeling your thigh bone deep in your hips, close to your belly and chest. Soften, soften. You might lift your legs up or straighten your legs 3/4 of the way. And just start to play, maybe a little further up, maybe a little further down. Notice where you get the deepest opening and release across the backs of your glutes, the backs of your legs. Pause there and breathe for a little while. Try to make this less about doing, less action, more just observing and being. That's what somatic is all about. So wonderful to have a deeply nourishing practice like this that doesn't require the body to be abused or overworked. Instead, replenishes from the inside out, strengthens, releases and loosens. It's truly amazing practice, and I'm glad to share it with you. Switch the cross of your legs, so flip the other one on top, and just do that same thing. Draw your knees in close to your chest. Relax. Notice how this side is a little different. Soften. Play with extending your legs away 3/4, maybe more, maybe less. Just exploring on this side. And then releasing. And coming to lie down all the way onto your back. relaxing your arms by your side with your palms facing up and settling in for final Shavasana. I'm going to lead you through a short guided Yoga Nidra meditation. Just a body scan to seal in this sense of balance that we have developed physically and energetically. Let it all soak in, be absorbed in to the mind. The most magical of aioli. Aioli is emulsification of egg and oil to make fancy mayonnaise. So we are creating this most magical emulsifications, the emulsification of spirit and matter. We feel separate and alienated when these two are feeling separate within us, but the truth is they're never separate. We are, our souls, our spirit, our energy isn't just housed in our center, it is housed in every single cell. You can feel them tingling, alive. It's always there for us. Sometimes we just have to peel back the layers of the crusty onions, defenses that we put up against the world. It's just lying here. Let gravity take over the work. Let your bones be heavy. Soften your skin and muscles over your bones. We'll practice the butterfly meditation for Yoga Nidra. So you'll lift one hand up. You just need to do this one time to mark where we're going, and then you can relax your hand down. But lifting one hand up, tap the center of your forehead a couple times. Just make a mental note of where it is. Then bring your hand down to the center of your chest and tap. Make a mental note. Okay, this body part is here. And then bring your hand over to the front of your left shoulder. Tap, 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 mental note. And now down to the front of your left thigh. Tap, tap, tap. See, this is where we kind of forget where body parts are, so it's good to tap first. And then your belly button. Tap, tap, tap. And now the front of your right thigh. Tap. And finally, the front of your right shoulder. Tap. Mental note. Good. Relax your right arm down. And now we'll mentally walk through these same places. Bring your awareness to the center of your forehead, your third eye, in between your eyebrows. And just feel sensation there, in and around, behind your forehead. Soften. And shift your awareness down to the heart center. Feel where you tapped. Feel sensation around and behind. Soften. Shift over to your left shoulder. Feel in and around, behind, soften. And then left thigh. Feel sensation in and around, beneath and between. Soften. Up to your belly button. Feeling in and around and beneath and between. Soften. And now the right thigh. In and around, beneath, soften. Right shoulder, in and around, between, beneath, soften. Moving back to the heart center and up to the third eye. Let's move through again, but reverse the direction. Sensing your third eye. Slide down to your heart center. And then over to your right shoulder, down to your right thigh, and then belly button, left thigh, left shoulder, back to heart center, and third eye. Moving through once more, you go in the direction that you like. Third eye, heart center, one shoulder, down to the thigh, navel center, to your belly button, opposite thigh, up to the shoulder, back to the heart center, third eye. And now let's connect the dots, because I did say this was butterfly meditation, right? So connect the 3 dots in the center, the body of the butterfly, the navel, the belly button, heart, and third eye. And then connect your wings, shoulders, and your thighs. Connected to the middle. And then let's connect the dots out to the extension of our wings, your hands, your elbows, your knees, your feet. Feel your whole body connected, centered, balanced. The body knows it belongs. It's our minds that make our lives so homeless. And by connecting mind, body, spirit, we bring about a state of balance and ease. So allow your body and your mind to rest. Body heavy, skin and muscles soft. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me today. Please rest here in Shavasana for another couple of minutes, as long as you like. Namaste.